Hello Western Oregon sports fans, and welcome back to Wolves Weekly for this preview edition. Joining me in studio again this week, we have head men's basketball coach Brady Bergeson. Brady, you guys are off to another tough road trip. Everybody in the conference always circles the Alaska road trip as maybe being the toughest. I know it is, but you guys, there's also that unique one where the travel partners of Seattle Pacific and Montana State Billings. Yeah. Not very close proximity-wise, but I know they do that because of the opportunity to fly out of Seattle. And you guys, everybody's got to do it, but this is the week you got to go play over to Billings on Thursday and then come back and play Seattle Pacific, another very quality each year and year out team in the GNAC. So I'd like to hear a little bit about these teams, and as we mentioned on the recap edition, this is your backstretch of the GNAC season. You guys are now having the opportunity to see everybody twice. And we know that in any sport, as you see, it can be tough to play somebody twice, especially with these two teams, which you're seeing within a month of the last time you've seen them.
Yep. Yeah, you know, the back half of the league is always interesting. You know, everybody knows everybody else a little bit better, and so games tend to be, you know, that much tighter. And, you know, so we're going into Billings, which is always a difficult place to play. And a terrific team is playing very well right now. They just knocked off Seattle Pacific at home, which was a great win for them. And they're really playing for something. They're right there in the middle of the pack, and they're jockeying for position for the conference for conference play. And so there's a lot on the line for everybody right now. You know, going down the backstretch, and it's really going to come down to who executes just a little bit better, and you know, the team that makes the most mistakes typically falls short, and oftentimes it comes down to that. It's a game of mistakes. So we'll have our hands full. Montana State Billings is a terrific team, and I do think that they're continuing to improve.
And just to make mention of that one too, this one definitely adds to being a tough one because this is one of the only ones that you actually have two teams that are both above 500 in conference play, two that are in that top half of the league of the travel partners usually have, not taken away from anything, but one that's usually higher in the league standings and one that's maybe in the bottom half of the league standings. But this one you have right now, Billings comes in actually as the fifth team. Seattle Pacific was tied with Western Oregon and Alaska Anchorage going into Saturday, but however, as you mentioned, they lost to Montana State Billings, falling into fourth place. So just interesting as you see, there's no easy games in this league, whether the travel, but let alone the quality of opponents you really see here.
Yeah, and again, it just speaks to the balance and the toughness of this conference. It's just top to bottom. You know, each night there's quality teams with terrific players, and you know, everybody's kind of got their own little unique style and their own way, their own system, and it really makes for good basketball. So we've again, Billings will be really ready to go. We're gonna have to slow those guards down and transition a little bit, and you know, and we're gonna have to, you know, keep our defense tight and make sure that we contain them on that end.
And as you mentioned right there, Billings definitely has a very strong set of guards. They seem to run about three of them out there that can all shoot and score the ball and handle the ball pretty well out there. And then Seattle Pacific presents another challenge with you with one of the best big guys in the league.
Yeah. Andy Pullings, you're referring to, there's without a doubt, he's a handful down there. He's a load for anybody to handle. We did a pretty decent job the first time around getting the ball out of his hands and limiting his touches a little bit. It's not easy to do. It's going to be harder to do at their place. You know, and of course they stack shooters all over the court around him, so it makes it harder to, you know, to double him and try to, you know, squeeze the middle a little bit when you got shooters laying all around. So they're a difficult matchup as well, as they always will be. But you know, right now we'll go in and take the long trip out to Montana and see if we can figure out how to handle those guys first.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much, Brady. I just want to make mention to everybody else again, remind everybody that all games in the GNAC play are free via penatlantic.com. You have the opportunity to watch the Wolves when they go on the road, both to Montana State Billings, which will remind everybody actually happens an hour earlier, so the game will be happening at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as the Wolves take on the Yellow Jackets. And then on Saturday, when the Wolves take on the Seattle Pacific Falcons, that one is normal Pacific Standard Time, and Seattle is also in the Pacific time zone, and that one will be also available on penatlantic.com. So just want to remind everybody to make sure you can follow the Wolves on the road and follow Brady and the rest of the Wolves as they get out there and continue the great season they've put together so far. So Brady, thank you very much for joining me in studio, and thank you all for watching this edition of Wolves Weekly.